We've done a stream in the same place.
Yeah.
Welcome to Buildstream number 5. Buildstream is a series where we go through some projects built on the Celestia ecosystem and learn about how they're built, to learn about how to build rollups, and then also to inspire us for what to build next. So the first stream that we did, or that I did, was with Ryan, and Ryan showed us how to build a based rollup with Rust. And during that stream, we were going through some ideas about what we could do next, in terms of what different ideas we could have for other rollups. One of those ideas Ryan had was a jukebox.
Right. And I mean, like, the idea behind this is not necessarily that it's the most useful thing, of course, but we're kind of wanting to like think about fun ideas, cute little roll-ups, you know. If you think about it, like Celestia's original vision is to make roll-ups easier to deploy in smart. I think originally it's as easy as a smart contract, but I think that it's easier than a lot easier than a smart contract.
Yeah, I think so.
So, like, we got to that point, like, okay, we can make decentralized apps now, but nobody really knows how to do it without like going to rollup frameworks.
Yeah, like
Rollkit, for example, or like, Sovereign Labs.
Yeah.
And it can be a lot simpler. So I was like, yesterday we sat down.
Nice to meet you. See you in the
Nice to
future.
meet you. So
and I guess like we are live from DevCon right now, so
no problem.
Good. We got Fico in the house.
What's up?
What else?
There's something. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. No, it's all good. It's the whole fun of this. So yeah, this is totally.
Yeah. So I was like, yesterday we sat down. We're like, let's make it. Took a few hours. So we're just gonna.
Yeah, I guess like a little more context. The other day I did a talk at Rejected, which was our event at DevCon, and I went through a long list. As Ryan said, like some of these ideas make a little bit less sense than others, but this is something that's meant to show you how you can build something and get started with building a rollup without so many dependencies. So on that note, I think it's a good idea to preview kind of like what we're trying to replicate here. And what we got is a jukebox. So today we're going to be going through building a version of this as a base rollup.
Like what it is. Hold
Yeah.
on. Let me,
Yeah, good.
So I mean, like the whole kind of concept behind the jukebox is that you can make a room with your friends, and then you go add YouTube videos to the queue, and then you can all listen to the same music at the same time. So that's what we wanted to build.
Yep.
Now in our version, like for simplicity and because we made it in a few hours, does not have rooms. Everything's in a single room. But the idea is that everybody can go to the Rollup site and listen to the same songs at the same time as everybody else.
Yep. And all you would need to do, in theory, if you had your own node in like the browser, you'd be able to just read from that namespace.
Right. And I'll get around to that.
Yeah.
It's like
dope.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
So on that note, we're gonna go ahead and switch to screen share here.
Yeah.
And check out the code. Do we want to show the demo after we're done going through? Yeah, we'll wait for that.
Yeah.
So
I'm worried if you run the thing from your computer, you might get a CORS error, but we'll figure it out.
Oh, it's okay.
If we do.
Yeah.
It
should be good.
It should be.
Which window are we looking for here?
The Z window? Is it not picking it up?
No.
Nice. What about entire screen, I guess?
It's cursed. Okay.
I don't think it's gonna find it. I think we have to do entire screen.
All right, we're sharing the entire screen.
All right. Let's hope we don't get any embarrassing notifications.
There we go.
So I wanted to like first go back to the base rollup that we did on stream in our first stream.
Yep.
Which was like a chat thing where we're sending messages. And the whole like basic idea behind that is that we have an enum for the transaction types. We have 2 types of transactions, send message and register. And then, these contain like everything that your rollup transaction would need to like update the state. And then we have a state file. And I mean, in the case for both of these rollups, the state is like purely in memory. Like it's not Merkleized. You can't ZK prove any of it. We will talk about that on the next stream.
Yeah, I think that's a good one to do next.
And but you had like users, which were like public keys to their usernames, and then we also had channels, which are rooms that just linked to a list of messages. So it's super simple. And then for the state, you just have like two methods here. One of them is validating a transaction, or for like making sure that the transaction is like valid when you get it from the base layer, because anybody can post your name.
And you want to make sure it fits the struct that you showed above,
exactly,
right?
Yeah. And then processing, like applying the actual transaction to that in-memory state that I just showed. So all we had to do to make the jukebox was I said, okay, what's the simplest thing we can do? You have one single transaction type called add to queue, and it just takes a YouTube link. And a YouTube link is just a string with some like extra validation stuff that Claude helped me write.
Actually, YouTube.
Right, exactly. So like it just, I have some like utilities, whatever. And then this is kind of like another interesting part, because that I might get back to, but we needed something to get the video duration. Like the transaction type itself only actually contains, where is it? TXRS. Yeah. Only actually contains this like string. We don't have the duration of the video. Like this is what gets posted on the DA layer. So this is what all the other nodes sync. They only see the link. So when they process the transaction, they have to like go retrieve the duration. And that's what this method is for, I guess.
And that's like the duration when it gets fetched. Is that from the rollup node itself?
Yeah, like whatever node is running. So if you had the node running in your browser, which we would have liked to do in time, but given time constraints, it's just connecting to a full node, so it's kind of shitty. But that node, when it sees the transaction, notices it's valid, will go fetch the duration of the video, and that gets put into the state. So you'll see here that like even though the transaction only contains the link, we actually when we process the transaction, we add duration to the struct, which is of course how long the video goes on, and then the time it starts. So
and this is like Unix time.
Yeah. But this is actually a hacky solution. If you had a like browser light node, then you wouldn't be in sync with everybody else, because the way that this processes it doesn't get the time from the header. It's an implementation detail that like is fixable, but like just so you know, like the system time is derived from like the first video it finds. It does system time dot now.
Got it.
So it's like kind of unique to every node, which doesn't make a ton of sense if you're doing like in browser light nodes. So we would fix it.
Implementation detail if you wanted to like really polish this up.
I ended up not using this, so this is kind of bullshit. I tried to, but whatever. And then I just have a list of these queued songs. And then what happens is,
so compared to Grug Chat, the only thing that like really changed in terms of the state of the rollup was the kind of like different fields that you have.
It's literally just fields. Like, so I mean, the things that are common, of course, is that we have a transaction type enum, and then we have a state struct, and then the interface I'm filling out is validate transaction, process transaction. So of course, is this transaction I just read from the DA layer valid? And then once we know it's valid, we apply it to the state. That's or I guess process transaction validates it. So I just misspoke. But it basically sets the song's start time as the last song's start time plus the duration of the last song.
Okay.
So it knows when to start the next song based on the.
So if I were to go like run my own version of this and sync from the same exact node, it's gonna start at the same time.
In this implementation, no, because of what I said earlier, with the like it gets system time not now. But if you use the header timestamp, it would, But then everybody would be in sync with browser. And then I just what do? I grab the URL out of the transaction. So I pass in the transaction, and then this is just like a variable declaration for URL. And I get the duration with that method I showed earlier that uses some API. And then I put it into that list in the state.
Nice.
So then what happens is we have our full node. And
so that was transaction state. Now we're going to jump to the full node.
Now the full node is basically exactly copy pasted from Grug Chat. It's the same thing. It's just sync logic.
Okay. And the sync logic is to just basically pull everything from Celestia.
Right. It's called full node, but I did a light node in the browser, it would also be a light node because the state is so light, it doesn't actually matter.
Right. So
Like this terminal, I should just call this node
it's
probably.
technically a full node, but in terms of like how much it's actually
Right.
like a full
Like
big
this
node.
this rollup would not need light node. It would only need one node type
Yeah.
because the state is so small.
And it's just it is also like another light.
Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah,
weird.
This is like exactly the same. It has sync logic, and then also it posts batches. So like we subsidize the transactions because
Yeah.
mainly because I couldn't figure out how to get Kepler working quickly enough.
That's for another one too. I
That's
think.
that's for another stream. And then this is just logic for so Celestia produces blobs, and then I also have batch, which is just like a vector of the transactions. So I try to parse blobs into batches, and then if the batches don't work, I mean, if it's not a batch but it's a single transaction, it puts it into like a batch with a single transaction.
Cool.
I know I'm flying over this. If you're interested in like deep diving more into this, we cover it pretty well in depth in the first live
Yeah,
stream.
so Buildstream number 1. If
Buildstream
you're
number one,
here, you can
right.
find that as well.
And then it's just processing the blocks. So it gets the transactions, and then it gets the blobs. So it gets a vector of blobs from the DA layer, and then it tries to put them into a vector of transactions. It locks the state and then processes every transaction. That's it.
Damn.
And then that's the only thing that's different there. Oh no, there's one other thing, and that is Greg had like a web server for like making it easy to interact with the front end, of course.
Yeah.
Now, if you did a browser light node with Lumina, which is the next step of this, you wouldn't need this because you'd just be interacting directly with the node. But I just provided some like utility methods over the state. So like get queue, for example, calls state get queue, which returns that list.
Got it.
So I just add the one sec. When I start the full node, it starts this web server, and it like provides. This is like a subsidized transaction endpoint, so I don't need to sign or pay Chia to add a song to the queue. But our batcher will. Yeah. Right now, it's a free for all. And then we have queue, which gets the queue. This, like I said, ended up not being used. It looks like it gets used in the web app, but I forgot about it until I'm looking at it now.
All good.
So, anyways, and then the web server is just literally like, okay, well, we have a request type for the API. It's like this 40-line REST file. Right?
Nice. Not even 40.
Yeah. So then we run the node.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, we could just like SSH into the box and open PMux.
Yeah.
And then show the logs, maybe.
Yeah.
We're showing the full screen anyways. Everything's out in the open.
Yeah. We're gonna just bank on notifications not coming through. So
you can up. Should I? Sorry, it's good being done.
Yep.
All right. So first of all, we have a like Celestia node instance running. So this is the Golang node.
It's just like a normal light node running.
Yeah. But like in the next streams, we're gonna show you how you can remove this entirely and just do everything in the browser. Like have the rollup itself also in the browser. So like without connecting to any RPC, which is of course the original dream of like Ethereum, of crypto, and but so we have
like decentralized applications.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is how easy it is to make one on Celestia. So these are the logs from the Jukebox. I love when it does that.
All good.
But anyways, I guess we can try to post.
Yeah, I think
I can try to do it from my computer.
So I think everything is running.
Let me try to submit a song and see what happens.
And we'll watch the logs here.
Yeah. Let's see if it finds it.
Okay, so we have on Ryan's computer that it has been added successfully. And in the next few blocks, it's the moment of
processing incoming,
where we are processing that incoming transaction.
Right. So I just put a Blink 182 song. Oh, I need to mute that before we get copyright strike. But anyways, so this is because we like posted it to the batcher, the full node, instead of just posting it directly to Mocha.
Yeah.
It is running on Mocha, by the way.
So if this weren't using like one node to post everything, in theory, anyone could post
yeah,
to
you just
Mocha
post directly to Mocha.
and they can
Right,
read back.
namespace. Yeah. But it processed the transaction, so now we should be able to open the demo.
Yeah, I think so. We'll try to save your eyes from the infinity screen, but oh my
yeah,
goodness, that's
okay.
sweet.
So this is you can add new songs here. You can queue them up. Right now, this one's playing. I guess I'll add another. Maybe you should pause. I don't know if the video is going to get us copyright strike. Yeah. So if I go to the Rollup as well, then it will show me the same video at the same time. What about this one?
Yeah, go for it.
I almost thought I said something else. I'll tell you later. But I'm going to add another song to the queue.
Okay, so we're adding another song.
And then, whoa. Okay, it's going to take a minute for the like roll up to see it.
Go back and watch that live stream. Okay, so we got another one processed.
It's going to like, it tries to resync everything.
Oh, look at that. And we got the
yeah,
next one coming in.
So it's going to start in what, like a minute or something?
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and.
Is it going to work?
No, song added successfully. Let's check it out. So our Jukebox has more than one song. All right, we got another one that's processed. And if we are working correctly, we got Abington queued up as well. Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so now I want to talk about like why this is bullshit.
All right, let's get it. I'm gonna stop sharing for now.
Oh no, wait. Can you keep sharing?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right. Whoops. We can pause the video. That's fine. My bullshit, I'm like mean something very specific. So yeah, just do that. All right. So thanks for checking on that. The last live stream I did, I drew for 25 minutes. And I looked at the stream and I wasn't even screen sharing. I was just talking, pretending. Yeah, it was pretty shitty. I'm gonna have to go back in.
Maybe notice, but didn't notice. I think we need to hit play though.
I pushed pause.
Okay, cool.
I don't want like to get copyright if we upload this to YouTube or something.
Oh no, we're on YouTube already.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We'll see. I guess. Now this is really shitty. Like,
yeah. So
this is going on better than any other like Ethereum.
That's like a central, like the centralization here is the fact that our node's running in the cloud.
You have to connect to our rollup node to be able to like get the web requests and everything.
You can't actually like sample it yourself in this form.
But like as of I don't know right now, basically, Lumina is like really getting their product really well rounded for actually making rollups work in the browser. So because Celestia just shipped Swap, which is the new like data retrieval protocol on Celestia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
The next song played.
So it started playing even though you paused the other one because it's set on the right time. Thanks.
So Swap is the new like data retrieval protocol in Celestia.
Yeah.
And Lumina has had it implemented since forever, but now that it's shipped, like we can integrate it, and they have WASM light nodes. That means that
with the WASM light node.
So that means that instead of needing to connect to something that's like a part of that blockchain network, by us visiting the site, if we use Lumina, us visiting it, like my browser would act as a node in the Celestia network and in our rollup network.
So like your light node's in the browser,
right?
It's running the rollup node as well.
Exactly. So you would be participating in the Celestia protocol, actually adding security back to the Celestia network. So like the more apps there are, the more secure Celestia is.
Yep. Bigger blocks
can be. Yep. And then you want to need to like connect to any RPC. This would be purely in the browser. Everybody would have the same view of the rollup. It's the decentralized app dream that we all dreamed about with Ethereum back in the day. And
Yeah.
you know, like if you think about like
What would-
Wisp browser and stuff like
Yeah.
we're finally there as of right now. Like this is just now becoming possible, and it's the most exciting thing that's happening in crypto right now for me, at least.
Yeah. I mean, same. It sounds like it's like a fully decentralized app.
Yeah.
What would be like the next step? You like put it on Arweave or something so that you
Yeah.
can access
So
it from any gateway?
there are a few next steps here. So one of them is if you were to use Lumina,
Yeah.
that works great for little cute baby rollups like this
Yeah.
because there's no real state.
So like
But the second that you have
the rollup node itself wouldn't be enough to like crash the browser.
right. The second that you have a lot of states, so it's like you actually have, I don't know, some VM there, or you're doing something that has a lot of throughput, your light node isn't going to be able to like go read all the transactions.
Mhm.
So what you can do is if you have that state put into a Merkle tree, you can throw the transaction processing into SP1,
Okay.
and then you post the output of those proofs also to Celestia.
Mhm.
And then the light node would just verify those proofs and then be able to get the state of the rollup
Without getting like
but without having to process every single
Yep.
transaction. And that is also possible as of I think last week or 2 weeks ago. SP1 released their like no STD or no standard. I've never pronounced it out loud. But, no standard implementation for like verifying Groth16 and
Yeah.
Blanc proofs. So you'd be able to like, and we're gonna do this in a stream too, I promise.
Nice. Yes.
You'd be able to have like your rollup light node just verifying the ZK proofs without needing to run every transaction.
And basically like recompute the state is what it sounds like.
Not recompute the state,
Yeah.
but you would know that the state is valid. You'd get the state from the network and be able to know that it's valid because you're following
Okay.
the validity proofs of like the actual full nodes in the network. So in that case, we would have full node light node. For
Yeah.
this, it's just like a general node. So that'd be one step. Another really cool thing you can do is you can put this on like Arweave or IPFS because it's just client. Like you,
Yeah.
it
Like
can be
everything's
static.
happening
Yeah.
on the static site.
And then you wouldn't be relying on some server like
Yeah.
this. This is a terrible server, by the way, localhost.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't be relying on some server to stay up because it would like be distributed. Like in Arweave's case, they have like 250 gateways, and then you'd have to take down all 250 gateways to take down
Pretty
the site.
much,
So you can
yeah.
do some really cypherpunk shit with this,
Yeah.
and it's the most exciting thing that's happening right
That's
now.
awesome.
I think.
I-
Anyways,
Yeah. Thank
yeah,
you.
this was just a short little quick example, like how to make. Really want to show how easy it is to do shit like
I mean,
this.
you did this like we're at DevCon right now.
Yeah.
You did this in the co-working space
Yeah.
last night, basically polished it up today.
Yeah.
You got a base rollup running on Mocha.
That's all you need.
So
Base rollups are so simple. Like people don't realize that
I mean,
you don't need all of this extra shit to make a rollup.
yeah, and I
Like-
guess like when even in the first stream when you were explaining it to me, I was still like kind of figuring it out myself.
Yeah.
Like I still was understanding it, and
Yeah.
now I basically understand it that you don't need to make blocks. You just make your block
So that's the
from
block
the
are
VA
your
layer.
block,
Yeah.
basically.
So there's no like in terms of
Yeah.
dependencies.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at
You're just not stuck in like
Yeah.
dependency hell.
No, we don't need to. I was gonna show like the dependencies of the project.
Yeah, why not?
No, it's fine.
I mean, it's like the same as Grug.
But yeah,
but-
it's like we have very little dependencies because we're not like using any roll up framework. We don't need to run all that code. I'm like a code minimalist. I want to reduce the amount of code that everybody's running, and we don't need all this complexity. We can just write a few lines of Rust and have a roll up. That's all it is.
So what are the
And we have
dependencies
decentralized
look
app.
like here?
Okay, so
A little
can go
bit
through
more,
them,
but not much.
But some of these I'm not even using actually. But so there's like for the web server, that's for serialization, that's Celestia stuff, obviously. These are like standard in any REST application, pretty much.
Yes.
It's also for web requests, for JSON,
Just like
to work
hex.
with hex.
Yeah.
And then this is like key stuff. We're not using this. We're also not using this.
Yep.
I could remove those and the project will still run.
regex for just like
Well, regex is for a specific thing.
YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. And then logging, because in Grug chat we only have print lines,
yeah.
and it's kind of like eye cancer or an eyesore. And then this is for being able to like develop locally. I was having some issues with cores,
Yeah.
as we all do,
As it goes.
as it goes. So I got rid of that by using that dependency. But it's like, yeah,
I mean, it's
it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
It's not like
And then you have a cool little decentralized app. Now, when you implement Lumina, it adds quite a bit more code because you are then needing to like compile it to WASM, but it's still super minimal. It's not comparable to any other way to build a rollup right now in terms of how little code you need to write. So yeah,
I mean,
yes, that's it.
yeah, I think that's it. It looks like there's some people in the chat watching, so thank you for tuning in.
Yeah,
This has been a quick overview of how to build a mini jukebox rollup, and I guess like with the clarification that this is also a base rollup written in Rust again. But yeah, any final words here for the viewers?
make rollups cute and tiny again.
Yeah, I believe.
I don't know. Just go like this is whatever. By the way, just go build whatever. Like we finally can do the things that we wanted to make with smart contracts a decade ago, in a decentralized way. If you're interested, please reach out because it's so new. It's really difficult to just go. There are no docs for
No.
example, for how to use
This is like the doc, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this video is kind of a doc now, unfortunately. So we're going to be putting more content out about how to do this kind of thing. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, reach out if you're interested in making something.
yeah, and don't forget to build whatever. And as Ryan mentioned, this is us kind of showing what whatever is because it's kind of for you to decide. So yeah, looking forward to tuning back into Buildstream again soon to learn more with Ryan. But thank you again, everyone. Thanks for showing us how to do that.
Thanks.
Peace.
Peace.
Have a good rest of DevCon.